Before we begin, please note that this presentation is for informational and educational purposes only. The information discussed should not be considered financial, legal, or business advice. Implementing new technologies like AI in a business environment carries inherent risks and requires careful consideration of your specific circumstances. Always consult with qualified professionals and conduct your own due diligence before making any significant business decisions. Imagine this for a second. Your best software engineer is stuck on a critical bug that's holding up a major product launch. The pressure is on. So, he does what millions of smart people do now. He turns to ChatGPT for help. He pastes in a huge chunk of your proprietary source code, the secret sauce of your company, and within minutes, the AI helps him find the flaw. Problem solved. The launch is back on track. Your engineer is a hero. But what he doesn't realize is that he may have just handed the keys to your kingdom over to an outside company for free. That sensitive code, your intellectual property, could now be used to train a global AI model, potentially exposing your trade secrets to the world, including your competitors. This isn't a scare tactic. This exact scenario is playing out in thousands of businesses across the United States right now, and it's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit waiting to happen. The truth is, the single biggest competitive advantage your business will have over the next decade isn't your marketing budget or your sales team. It's how quickly and securely you can integrate artificial intelligence into the core of your operations. And if your team is still using the free, public version of ChatGPT, or even the paid plus version, you're not just falling behind, you are actively putting your entire company at risk. That's why we're here today. We're going to pull back the curtain on the one tool designed to solve this exact problem: ChatGPT Enterprise. And this isn't going to be some boring list of features. I'm going to show you how this platform transforms from a clever chatbot into a secure, centralized brain for your entire organization. We'll explore how it can give your team an almost unfair advantage by unlocking productivity you didn't think was possible, all while locking down your most valuable data. So let's start with the absolute number one reason any company even considers the enterprise version: security and privacy. This is the bedrock of the entire platform. With the free and plus versions, there's always been a gray area. OpenAI's policy states they may use your data to improve their models unless you specifically opt out. Think about that. The default setting is to learn from your business's private conversations. With ChatGPT Enterprise, that ambiguity is gone. The policy is crystal clear. Your data is your data, period. Your conversations, your prompts, your file uploads, none of it is ever used to train OpenAI's models. You own your inputs and outputs completely. This isn't just a pinky promise. It's backed by serious enterprise-grade security protocols. We're talking about SOC 2 compliance, which is a rigorous auditing procedure that ensures a service provider securely manages your data to protect the interests of your organization and the privacy of its clients. This is the same standard of security you'd expect from your cloud provider, your CRM, or your financial software. All of your data is encrypted, both when it's sitting on a server, what's called at rest, and when it's moving between your computer and their servers, known as in transit. To put it simply, using the public version of ChatGPT is like discussing company secrets with a brilliant consultant in the middle of a crowded coffee shop. Anyone could be listening. ChatGPT Enterprise is like taking that same consultant into a soundproof lead-line vault where you have the only key. That peace of mind is the foundation for everything else. But let's be real, security is just the price of admission. It doesn't get the work done faster. The second massive upgrade is performance. If you've used ChatGPT Plus, you know the frustration. You're on a roll in a state of creative flow, and suddenly you hit the message limit. You've reached your current usage cap for GPT-4. It's a momentum killer. Your best ideas don't arrive on a schedule that fits a usage cap. With Enterprise, those limits are gone. You get unlimited high-speed access to GPT-4. This isn't just a minor convenience. It's a fundamental change in how your team can work. No more rationing prompts. No more telling your marketing team to take it easy on the AI so the engineering team can use it. No more slowdowns during peak hours when the whole world is trying to use the service. Every single person in your organization can use the most powerful AI model available, as much as they want, whenever they want, at maximum speed. It means your financial analyst can run complex data models all day long. Your sales team can draft personalized outreach emails for hundreds of leads without interruption. Your legal team can review contracts non-stop. It removes the friction and allows AI to become a truly integrated, always-on utility like electricity or the internet. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Hand in hand with unlimited access comes a feature that is arguably one of the biggest game changers for complex, professional work: a massively expanded context window. So what is a context window? The easiest way to think about it is as the AI's short-term memory. It's the amount of information, both your prompt and its own response, that it can hold in its mind at one time. For a long time, this was a major limitation. It was like talking to someone incredibly smart, but who could only remember the last few sentences of the conversation. The standard versions of ChatGPT have a context window of around 4,000 or 8,000 tokens, which is roughly 3,000 to 6,000 words. That's a decent amount, enough for a long email or a short article. But ChatGPT Enterprise gives you access to a 32,000 token context window. That's about 25,000 words. That is a quantum leap. That's the difference between asking the AI to review a single page of a business proposal versus uploading the entire 80-page document and asking it to identify all potential risks, summarize the key financial projections, and suggest 3 ways to make the executive summary more compelling. Think about the possibilities this unlocks. Your legal team can now feed an entire complex contract into the AI and ask it to find every clause related to liability or intellectual property rights. Your R&D department can upload a dense, 50-page scientific paper and get a concise summary of its methodology, findings, and implications in seconds. Your software developers can paste in thousands of lines of code from multiple files and ask the AI to trace a bug across the entire system. You can feed it a full transcript of a 1-hour customer interview and have it instantly pull out key themes, direct quotes, and actionable feedback. This ability to reason over large, dense documents is what elevates ChatGPT from a clever tool for simple tasks to a true analytical partner for deep, meaningful work. It allows the AI to see the whole picture, not just a tiny snapshot, leading to insights that were simply impossible before. And this is where the game completely changes. Because for decades, businesses have been drowning in their own data. We have spreadsheets, PDFs, CSV files, Word documents, entire digital continents of information stored in folders, clouds, and shared drives. And for the most part, that information just sits there. It's too much, too disorganized, too complex for any single human to make sense of. We might pull a few numbers for a quarterly report, or search for a specific clause in a contract, but we never truly understand the symphony of insights hidden within. We suffer from analysis paralysis. We have the answers, but we can't even formulate the right questions, let alone find them. This is the problem that ChatGPT Enterprise's advanced data analysis was built to solve. Now, you might have heard of its previous name, Code Interpreter, and thought, oh, that's for programmers. That is the single biggest misconception about this tool. Calling it Code Interpreter is like calling a spaceship a metal tube. It completely undersells what it actually does. Think of it not as a tool for writing code, but as a tireless, brilliant data scientist that lives inside your chat window, speaks plain English, and can work at the speed of thought. Let's imagine a real-world scenario. You're the head of marketing for a mid-sized e-commerce company. It's the end of the quarter, and you need to prepare a presentation for the board on performance and strategy for the next 3 months. In the old days, this would be a week-long nightmare. You'd have to bug the sales team for their raw sales data in an Excel file. You'd ask the web team for Google Analytics exports. You'd download social media engagement reports. You'd have another file with customer satisfaction survey results. You'd have at least 5 or 6 different messy spreadsheets, all with different column names, formats, and thousands of rows. Your job would be to manually stitch this Frankenstein's monster of data together, build pivot tables, fight with VLOOKUPs, and try to create a few coherent-looking charts in a desperate attempt to find a story. Now, with ChatGPT Enterprise, here's the new workflow. You open a new chat. You click the little paperclip icon, and you upload all of those files at once. The raw sales data, the web traffic CSV, the PDF report on ad spend, the customer survey spreadsheet. You don't clean them up. You don't pre-format them. You just dump them in, and then you type a prompt in simple, natural language. Something like this. Analyze these attached files which represent our Q3 performance. I need to understand what drove our success and where we fell short. Your goal is to create a comprehensive report for our board. First, identify our top 3 best-selling products and correlate their sales spikes with our marketing campaigns from the ad spend report. Second, analyze the customer satisfaction survey to find the most common complaints and praises, and see if they relate to our best-selling or worst-selling products. Third, based on all this data, identify our most profitable customer demographic. Finally, generate 5 key strategic recommendations for Q4 and create a series of professional, easy-to-understand visualizations, bar charts, pie charts, whatever is best, to illustrate each of your key findings. You hit enter, and then you watch the magic happen. You see a little box appear that says it's working, but it's not just thinking. In the background, it is writing and executing its own Python code. It's inspecting the files, reading the column headers, and understanding the structure of each one. It sees that the date column in the sales data is formatted differently than the day column in the web traffic data. So it writes a script to standardize them. It notices missing values in the survey results and makes a note of it, deciding on the best statistical method to handle them without compromising the integrity of the analysis. It's merging these disparate files into a single master data frame. It's performing complex statistical analysis, running regressions to see the relationship between ad spend and sales, and using natural language processing to categorize the open-ended comments from your customer surveys into themes like shipping complaints, product quality praise, or website usability issues. And then the results start pouring into the chat window. Not in a block of code, but in perfect English. It says, "Understood. I've analyzed the 4 documents. Here is the executive summary of my findings." And it starts. Our top-selling product was the Pro Series blender, which saw 2 major sales spikes on August 15th and September 22nd. Cross-referencing with your ad spend report, these spikes correlate directly with the Summer Smoothie Instagram influencer campaign, which had a 40% higher return on investment than any other campaign this quarter. Here is a chart visualizing the sales spike against the campaign timeline. And boom, a beautiful, perfectly labeled bar chart appears right in the chat. It continues. Analysis of the customer surveys reveals that while customers love the blender's power, the most common complaint, cited in 32% of negative reviews, is the difficulty in cleaning the blade assembly. Interestingly, our worst-selling product, the Easy Clean Juicer, receives high praise for its ease of cleaning, but is criticized for its performance. This suggests a significant market opportunity for a powerful blender that is also easy to clean. It keeps going, identifying that your most profitable demographic is women aged 25 to 40 in suburban areas who make purchases on mobile devices, and it even generates a map of the United States, color-coded to show sales hotspots. Finally, it delivers the strategic recommendations you asked for. 1. Reallocate 50% of the Q4 marketing budget to a new influencer campaign focused on the Pro Series blender, replicating the successful Summer Smoothie model. 2. Fast-track R&D on a Pro Series 2.0 with an improved Easy Clean blade assembly. 3. Launch a targeted ad campaign on mobile platforms aimed at suburban females aged 25 to 40, highlighting the blender's power and performance. In less than 5 minutes, you have accomplished what would have taken a team of analysts a full week to do. And the best part? It's a conversation. You can interrogate the data further. You can ask, "That's interesting. Can you break down the sales data for the Midwest region only and show me the daily sales trend for July?" It will instantly filter the data and generate a new line graph. Can you rewrite those strategic recommendations to be more concise, using a more formal tone for the board of directors? Done. You can even ask it to export all the charts and the summary into a PowerPoint file for you. This is the power of enterprise-grade data analysis. And because it's the enterprise version, this entire process is secure. Your company's sensitive sales data, your customer feedback, it's not being used to train OpenAI's public models. It exists only within your secure, private workspace. Your company's data stays your company's data. This allows your finance team to upload confidential earnings reports to find anomalies, your logistics team to upload shipping manifests to optimize routes, and your HR department to analyze anonymized employee survey data to improve company culture, all with the peace of mind that their proprietary information is protected. This single feature fundamentally changes the relationship between people and data. It transforms data from being a historical record of what happened into a dynamic, conversational partner for deciding what to do next. It democratizes the role of a data scientist, putting that power into the hands of anyone who can ask a question. The bottleneck is no longer your ability to write code or build a pivot table. The bottleneck is now just the quality of your questions. But analyzing static files, reports that are a snapshot in time, is just the beginning. What happens when you give this intelligence a permanent memory? What if you could create a custom-built brain for the AI, trained exclusively and continuously on your company's most sensitive, most valuable information. Every project plan, every technical document, every internal wiki, every single thing that makes your business unique. That's where the line between an intelligent assistant and a true, integrated team member begins to blur. And this is where the entire paradigm shifts. We're moving beyond a simple question and answer tool and into the realm of creating a true corporate brain, a central intelligent hub that understands the very DNA of your organization. The key to unlocking this is a feature that sounds simple on the surface but is profoundly powerful in practice: custom GPTs. Now, if you've used ChatGPT+, you might have tinkered with building your own GPTs. You can give it a name, some instructions, maybe upload a few documents. It's a fantastic feature. But what Enterprise does is take that concept and put it on industrial-grade steroids. Imagine not just building a handy helper for yourself, but building an entire digital workforce of hyper-specialized experts, available 24/7 to every single person in your company. Think of it like this. In a typical company, you have Sarah from marketing, who is the absolute genius on brand voice. You have David in legal, who knows the company's contract negotiation playbook by heart. And you have Maria in engineering, who can recall the precise technical specs of a product launched 7 years ago. These people are invaluable. They hold the company's institutional knowledge in their heads. The problem is, they're only human. They can only be in one place at a time. They go on vacation. And eventually they might leave, taking all that priceless knowledge with them. ChatGPT Enterprise allows you to clone their expertise. Not the people themselves, but their accumulated knowledge. You can create a brand voice guru GPT and feed it every style guide, every successful marketing campaign, every piece of ad copy you've ever written. Now any new marketing hire, or even a salesperson on the other side of the world, can ask it, draft an email to a Fortune 500 CIO about our new cybersecurity suite, using our challenger brand tone of voice. And the response won't be a generic, soulless template. It will sound exactly like Sarah wrote it herself, because it's been trained on the very essence of her work. Let's take that legal example. You build a contract review assistant GPT. You securely connect it to your entire library of approved master service agreements, NDAs, and historical contract negotiations. A junior paralegal gets a new third-party vendor contract. It's 60 pages long, dense with legalese. Their old process: spend a day and a half manually comparing it, line by line, against your company's standard templates, hoping they don't miss a subtly dangerous indemnity clause. The new process: they upload the document and ask, analyze this contract against our standard MSA for Q4 2023. Flag all non-standard clauses, quantify the potential risk level of each deviation on a scale of 1 to 10, and suggest our approved alternative language. The task that took a day and a half is now done with a higher degree of accuracy in under 2 minutes. This isn't just a time saver, it's a massive risk reduction engine. But here's the most important piece of the puzzle, the one that makes CIOs and security officers breathe a sigh of relief. When you connect your company's knowledge to ChatGPT Enterprise, you are doing so in a secure private vault. This is the single biggest differentiator from the public-facing versions. OpenAI is crystal clear on this. Your data is your data. It is never ever used to train their public models. You have full ownership and control. This operates under what they call a zero retention policy for your prompts and data by default. It's encrypted both in transit and at rest. They have SOC 2 Type 2 compliance, which is a rigorous third-party audited security standard. This security assurance is the bedrock that makes everything else possible. It means you can confidently upload your product roadmaps, your financial projections, your sensitive customer research, your proprietary source code. You're not throwing your trade secrets into a public blender. You're building a private, secure intelligence layer on top of your own information. Let's walk through a more complex, cross-functional scenario. Imagine a product team is about to kick off a new initiative, Project Titan. The project manager, who is relatively new, needs to get up to speed fast. Instead of scheduling a dozen meetings and digging through a chaotic shared drive, she goes to the custom Project Titan Kickstart GPT. Her first prompt: I'm the new PM for Project Titan. Give me the complete background. I need the initial project proposal, the market research that validated the idea, the key stakeholders involved, and a summary of the executive steering committee's last meeting on this topic. The GPT, connected to your secure Confluence, Jira, and meeting transcript repository, instantly synthesizes all of this. It doesn't just dump links. It provides a clean narrative summary. Project Titan was proposed by the innovation team in Q2 to address a 15% market share loss to competitor X. Market research indicates a strong demand for feature Y, which is the core of this project. Key stakeholders include Jane Doe Marketing, John Smith Engineering, and so on. The last steering committee meeting highlighted a budget concern, with a request to reevaluate the Q4 resource allocation. The PM is already light years ahead. Her next prompt: based on our company's standard project management framework, draft a project charter for Titan. Pull the key objectives from the proposal and suggest an initial timeline based on the engineering team's past performance on projects of similar complexity. Boom! A fully formed project charter appears, perfectly formatted, using company-approved templates. It has already analyzed historical data from Jira to create a realistic, data-driven timeline, not just a wild guess. It's not a final plan, but it's a 90% solution that just saved her an entire day of work. Now she brings in her team. The lead engineer asks the same GPT. What are the core technical dependencies for Project Titan? Analyze our existing codebase and identify any potential integration challenges with our legacy billing system. The GPT, with secure access to your GitHub repository, can actually analyze the code and provide a technical brief. The marketing lead asks, summarize the target audience profile for Titan from the market research docs and generate 5 potential value propositions we can A/B test for the landing page. Do you see what's happening here? The company's collective intelligence is being democratized. A new employee can perform with the context of a 10-year veteran. Silos between departments begin to dissolve because the information is no longer trapped in one team's software or one person's head. It's all accessible through a single conversational interface. It's about creating a single source of truth that people can actually talk to. This is how you scale expertise. This is how you accelerate innovation. You're not just giving your employees a smarter search engine. You're giving them an on-demand, expert collaborator that knows your business as well as you do. This ability to create a shared consciousness for your organization is what separates a neat productivity tool from a truly transformational platform. It turns your vast, unstructured data, all those documents, spreadsheets, emails, and chat logs, from a passive, difficult-to-search archive into an active, intelligent asset that works for you. But what if these custom assistants could do more than just find and synthesize information? What if they could actually take action inside your other business applications, kicking off workflows and automating complex tasks? Well, that future is exactly what OpenAI has built with a feature called Actions. This is the single most powerful capability that elevates a custom GPT from a smart information assistant to an active, operational team member. It's the bridge between conversation and execution. Think of it like this. Up until now, we've been talking about giving our GPTs a library to read from, your internal documents, your knowledge bases. Actions give your GPT a set of tools and the permission to use them. It's the difference between an analyst who can write a brilliant report on market trends and an analyst who can write the report, then automatically update your CRM with the new leads, schedule follow-up meetings with the sales team, and post a summary of the findings to your company's Slack channel. So how does this magic actually work under the hood? It's all built on something developers have been using for decades: APIs, or application programming interfaces. An API is just a standardized way for different software programs to talk to each other. When you use your phone to book an Uber, the Uber app is using the Google Maps API to show you the map and your driver's location. They're two separate systems, talking to each other through a predefined language. Actions allow you to make your company's internal tools, or any third-party software you use that has an API, speak the language of ChatGPT. You essentially provide your custom GPT with a phone book of available services, like Salesforce, ServiceNow, Jira, or even your own custom-built internal databases, and a set of instructions on how to use them. Let's walk through a concrete example that every sales team on the planet will understand. Imagine you're a sales executive. Your life is a whirlwind of calls, emails, and follow-ups. One of the most tedious yet critical parts of your job is logging all of this activity in your company's CRM. Let's say it's Salesforce. You finish a great call with a new lead, and now you have to stop what you're doing, open a new browser tab, log into Salesforce, search for the contact, click log a call, and manually type out your notes. It's only a few minutes, but multiply that by 10 or 20 calls a day, and it becomes a massive drain on productivity. It's death by 1,000 clicks. Now imagine you have a custom GPT called Sales Copilot. It knows who you are, it's connected to your company's systems, and it's enabled with actions. You finish your call, and without leaving your workflow, you simply type or say, "Log a call with Michael Chan at Innovate Corporation." We discussed the enterprise tier pricing. He's very interested in the data security features, and I've scheduled a follow-up demo for next Wednesday at 2 p.m. In the background, the GPT springs into action. First, it parses your request. It identifies the key pieces of information: the contact name Michael Chan, the company Innovate Corporate, the call notes about pricing and security, and the follow-up meeting details. Then, using the Salesforce API action you've configured, it makes a secure call to your Salesforce instance. It finds the correct contact record, creates a new activity log, populates it with your notes, and because you also connected it to your Google Calendar API, it simultaneously creates a calendar event for the demo next Wednesday, inviting both you and Michael. The entire multi-step, multi-application workflow is completed in seconds, all from a single natural language command. You never had to open a new tab. You never had to click through a single menu. The friction is gone. Your productivity skyrockets, and just as importantly, the quality and timeliness of the data in your CRM improves dramatically, which makes your sales managers very, very happy. But we can go so much deeper. Let's scale up the complexity. Picture a marketing team launching a new product. They need to coordinate across multiple platforms: their project management tool like Asana, their content management system like WordPress, and their social media scheduler like Hootsuite. They could build a campaign launcher GPT. A marketing manager could then issue a command like, "We're ready to launch the Project Titan campaign." Create a new parent task in Asana titled Titan Launch Week. Underneath it, create subtasks for finalized blog post, schedule social media, and email blast, and assign them to the content team. Then, take the approved final draft from our shared drive and create a new draft post in WordPress with it. Finally, queue up the announcement tweet for 9 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. This is not science fiction. This is what actions enable. The GPT acts as an orchestrator, a digital chief of staff. It receives the high-level intent from the user and then methodically communicates with each individual system via its API to execute the constituent parts of the request. It's a force multiplier for your team's efforts, automating the tedious connective tissue that holds complex projects together. Now, I know what the security and IT professionals watching this are thinking. This sounds amazing, but you want to give an AI the keys to our kingdom? The ability to write data directly into our most critical systems? That's a massive security risk. And you are absolutely right to be concerned. This is precisely why the enterprise-grade implementation of actions is so different from what you might see in the public consumer version of ChatGPT. OpenAI has built this with enterprise security as the foundation. First and foremost, no action is ever taken without explicit user confirmation. When that sales copilot needs to update Salesforce, a confirmation box will pop up right in the chat interface that says, "I am about to log a call from Michael Chan at Innovate Corporation. Do you want to allow this?" You, the user, have to click confirm before anything is sent. This human-in-the-loop design ensures there are no rogue operations. The AI suggests, the human approves. Second, control is granular and centralized. Your company's administrators in the OpenAI console have complete authority over how actions can be used. They can create an allow list of approved APIs. So you can decide that employees are allowed to build GPTs that connect to Salesforce, Slack, and Zendesk, but absolutely not to personal social media accounts or unapproved third-party applications. You control the ecosystem. Third, authentication is robust and secure. When you connect a GPT to an external service, it uses industry-standard protocols like OAuth 2. This means the GPT isn't storing your personal Salesforce password. Instead, it's acting on your behalf, using the same permissions your user account already has. So if your user profile in Salesforce doesn't allow you to delete customer records, your custom GPT can't delete them either. It inherits your existing permissions, ensuring that your company's carefully crafted access control policies are always respected. What this all adds up to is a fundamental shift in how we interact with technology. For the past 40 years, we've been forced to learn how to use computers. We learned to navigate file systems, click through menus, and fill out forms. We adapted to the machine. Actions and the conversational interface of ChatGPT Enterprise represent a reversal of that dynamic. Now the machine adapts to us. You simply state your intent in plain English, and the AI becomes the universal translator and operator, interfacing with all your complex back-end systems on your behalf. It's about more than just saving a few minutes here and there. It's about reducing cognitive load. It's about democratizing access to powerful tools. It's about letting your most creative, strategic people focus on high-value work, while the AI handles the operational logistics. This ability to not just know, but to do, is what makes custom GPTs an indispensable asset. But this ecosystem of knowledge and action creates a massive amount of data. Every query, every document uploaded, every action taken is a data point. How can a business leader or an IT admin get a bird's-eye view of how this powerful technology is actually being used across their entire organization? How do you spot trends, ensure compliance, and measure the return on your investment? Well, the answer lies in what is arguably the most critical component of the entire enterprise offering: the admin console. This isn't just a settings menu. Think of it as the mission control for your company's entire AI strategy. It's the central nervous system that transforms ChatGPT from a powerful but chaotic tool, used by individuals, into a secure, managed, and measurable asset for the entire organization. This is where the magic of enterprise-grade control really happens. Let's start with the first and most fundamental challenge for any IT administrator: user management. In a small team, you can just invite people by email. But when you have 500, 5,000, or even 50,000 employees, that's not just impractical. It's a security nightmare. This is where Enterprise introduces a feature that will make any IT professional breathe a sigh of relief: single sign-on, or SSO. If you've ever used your Google or Microsoft account to log into another app, you've used SSO. In a corporate setting, this is 1,000 times more important. ChatGPT Enterprise integrates directly with your company's existing identity provider. Think Okta, Azure Active Directory, Ping Identity. What does this mean in plain English? It means your employees don't need to create a new username and password for ChatGPT. They log in using the same credentials they use for everything else. This isn't just about convenience. It's a massive security upgrade. First, it enforces your company's existing password policies and multi-factor authentication. If your policy requires a complex password and a code from an authenticator app to access company email, that same level of security now automatically protects your ChatGPT instance. Second, it makes onboarding and offboarding seamless. When a new employee joins, they get access to ChatGPT on day one automatically. More importantly, when an employee leaves the company and their corporate account is deactivated, their access to ChatGPT Enterprise is revoked instantly. There's no risk of a former employee walking away with access to a powerful tool containing sensitive company conversations. It closes a huge potential security gap. Hand in hand with SSO is another crucial setup feature: domain verification. This allows your company to prove it owns its email domain, like @yourcompany.com. Once verified, you can ensure that only users with a verified company email address can join your enterprise workspace. It prevents random individuals or people from other organizations from trying to sneak in. It's like building a digital fence around your AI environment, ensuring that only your team is inside. So you've got your users securely on board. Now we get to the heart of the question we ended on before. How do you get that bird's eye view? This is where the centerpiece of the admin console comes into play: the usage dashboard. This dashboard is your window into the soul of your organization's AI adoption. It doesn't just give you one number, it gives you the story. At a glance, you can see key metrics: the number of active users, the total number of messages sent, the number of conversations started. You can filter this data by date ranges, allowing you to see usage on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. Why is this so powerful? Because it turns anecdotes into evidence. Imagine you're a chief information officer who just approved this significant investment. Your board is asking for the return on that investment. Before, you might have had a few enthusiastic employees telling you how much they love ChatGPT. Now you can pull up a dashboard and say, in the last 30 days, our engineering department, which makes up 20% of our workforce, accounted for 60% of all usage. We've seen a 30% month-over-month increase in adoption since we rolled out our internal training program. Suddenly, you're having a data-driven conversation about value. You can spot trends. Is there a sudden spike in usage from the marketing team? Maybe they're using it to prep for a major product launch. You can reach out and see what's working, then share those best practices with other departments. Is there a department with surprisingly low usage? Perhaps they need more training, or don't yet understand the potential use cases for their specific roles. The dashboard isn't a tool for surveillance. It's a compass for strategy. It helps you direct your training resources where they're needed most and identify your power users who can become internal champions for the technology. This visibility is the first step in calculating real ROI. When you can correlate a high volume of use in your legal department with a reported 25% reduction in the time it takes to review standard contracts, you're no longer guessing at the value. You're measuring it. The usage dashboard transforms ChatGPT from a line item on an expense report into a demonstrable productivity engine. But the admin console is about more than just looking at data. It's about actively shaping the user experience. This brings us to another game-changing feature: workspace management, specifically shared chat templates. Think about the common repetitive tasks that happen in every single department. Your sales team drafts outreach emails. Your HR team writes job descriptions. Your customer support team answers frequently asked questions. With shared chat templates, an administrator or a team lead can create pre-packaged, high-quality prompts for these exact tasks and publish them to the entire workspace. So instead of every single salesperson trying to reinvent the wheel and write a cold email from scratch, they can simply click on the cold outreach email template. It might be preloaded with the company's value proposition, tone of voice, and placeholders for the prospect's name and company. All they have to do is fill in the blanks. This does two incredible things. First, it dramatically accelerates workflows and boosts efficiency. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it ensures consistency and quality. It embeds your company's best practices directly into the tool. You're not just giving your employees a powerful AI. You're giving them a powerful AI that already knows how to speak your company's language and follow its playbook. You can create a template for your marketing team to generate social media posts that are perfectly aligned with your brand voice. You can have one for your developers to document code according to your internal standards. This feature alone can scale expertise across the entire organization, ensuring that even a junior employee can produce work that reflects the quality of your most seasoned expert. Finally, the admin console gives you control over the very models and tools your team can use. Within the console, you have the ability to manage which GPTs are available in the workspace. You can feature the custom, company-built GPTs that are most relevant to your business right on the homepage, making them easy for everyone to find and use. You can also decide which GPTs from the public store are enabled or disabled, giving you another layer of governance and ensuring your teams are using tools that are vetted and aligned with your company's security and compliance standards. So, when you put it all together, the secure user management with SSO, the protective barrier of domain verification, the strategic insight from the usage dashboard, and the scalable expertise provided by shared templates, you start to see the bigger picture. The admin console is what elevates ChatGPT from a consumer application to a true enterprise platform. It provides the essential framework of security, governance, and measurement that businesses have been waiting for. It gives leaders the confidence to deploy this transformative technology at scale, knowing they have the controls and the visibility they need to manage it effectively. We've seen how you can manage the platform and see what people are doing. But what about taking it to the next level? What about building completely new capabilities, tailored specifically to your company's unique data and workflows? How do you create an AI that doesn't just know about the world, but knows everything about your business? The answer lies in two of the most powerful concepts within ChatGPT Enterprise: creating custom GPTs and a process called fine-tuning. These aren't just features, they are gateways to building a truly proprietary AI brain for your organization. Let's start with the most accessible one: custom GPTs. Think of the standard ChatGPT as the world's most knowledgeable generalist. It's like hiring a brilliant consultant who has read every book, article, and website in existence. They can talk about anything from Renaissance art to quantum physics. But if you ask them, what was the key takeaway from our Q3 sales meeting last year? They'll have no idea. Why would they? They don't work for you. They don't have your internal context. Creating a custom GPT is like giving that brilliant consultant a key to your company's private library. You can create a specialized version of ChatGPT and feed it your own data. This isn't public training. It's a secure, private knowledge base that only your version of the AI can access. Imagine creating a marketing brand guardian GPT. You upload your company's brand guidelines, your voice and tone documents, transcripts of your most successful ad campaigns, and your entire social media history. Now, a junior marketing associate can go to this custom GPT and say, "Write 3 Instagram captions for our new product launch, keeping our witty but professional tone in mind." The output won't be generic marketing speak. It will be infused with your company's unique personality, using the right terminology, the right hashtags, and the right call to action, because it has learned from your best work. It becomes an instant expert on your brand. Or think about an HR policy navigator GPT. New hires are often overwhelmed. They have dozens of questions about benefits, expense reports, vacation policies, and company culture. Instead of bombarding the HR department or searching through a clunky intranet, they can just ask the custom GPT, "What is our company's policy on remote work for international travel?" Or, "How do I submit a receipt for a client dinner?" The GPT, armed with your official up-to-date HR documents, provides an immediate, accurate, and consistent answer 24/7. This frees up your HR team to focus on more strategic human-centric tasks. The applications are endless and span every department. A sales enablement copilot can be fed with all your product specifications, competitor analysis reports, and case studies. Before a big client call, a salesperson can ask, "Give me the top 3 talking points to counter an objection about our pricing compared to competitor X." In seconds, they get a powerful data-backed response tailored to your products and market position. A legal contract assistant can be trained on your company's standard contract templates and risk tolerance guidelines. It can then quickly scan a third-party contract and flag clauses that deviate from your standard terms, highlighting potential risks and saving your legal team countless hours of painstaking manual review. This is the power of providing context. You're not changing the AI's core intelligence. You're giving it a specialized education in your business. It's a game changer for productivity and consistency. But what if you need to do more than just provide information? What if you need to change the AI's fundamental behavior, its style, or its understanding of a highly specialized format? That's where we move from giving it a library to read to sending it to a masterclass. This is fine-tuning. Fine-tuning is a more advanced process where you take one of OpenAI's base models and continue its training process using your own curated dataset. If creating a custom GPT is like giving the AI a set of books, fine-tuning is like rewiring a part of its brain to think like your top expert. You're not just giving it knowledge, you're shaping its very patterns of thought and expression. Let's make this real. Imagine you run a customer support center. You have millions of chat logs from past interactions. Some were resolved brilliantly by your best agents, others not so much. You can create a high-quality dataset of your absolute best, most empathetic, and most effective customer interactions. By fine-tuning a model on this data, you create an AI that doesn't just know your product's FAQs. It learns the style and tone of your best support agents. It learns to anticipate customer frustrations. It learns the specific jargon your customers use. When it generates a response, it sounds less like a robot and more like your star employee, Brenda, who has a magical ability to de-escalate any situation. The model's entire conversational personality has been molded to reflect the best of your company. Or consider a software development team that uses a proprietary, in-house coding language or a highly customized framework. A standard model like GPT-4 is a phenomenal coder, but it has no knowledge of your secret sauce. By fine-tuning the model on your entire internal codebase, you can create a developer assistant that speaks your language fluently. It can generate code, find bugs, and write documentation that perfectly aligns with your company's unique standards and practices. It becomes an expert in your technology stack, a feat impossible for any off-the-shelf tool. The same applies to highly technical fields. A biotech firm can fine-tune a model on its library of genomic research and clinical trial data. The resulting AI develops a deep, nuanced understanding of that specific scientific domain. It can then help researchers by summarizing complex papers, identifying patterns across thousands of data points, or even hypothesizing new avenues for research, all within that highly specialized context. So let's be crystal clear on the difference. Custom GPTs are primarily about knowledge retrieval. You give it documents and it uses that information to answer questions. It's faster, cheaper, and perfect for tasks that rely on a specific body of information. Fine-tuning is about changing the model's core behavior. It's for when you need the AI to adopt a specific style, format, or a deep understanding of a unique domain that can't be learned from just reading documents. It's more resource-intensive, but the result is a model that is truly one of a kind. This is where the idea of a competitive moat comes in. Any of your competitors can go out and buy a subscription to ChatGPT Enterprise, but they cannot access your data. They cannot replicate your 20 years of customer service logs, your proprietary codebase, or your unique market research. When you create custom GPTs and fine-tune models based on that data, you are creating an intelligent asset that is entirely your own. You are building an AI that embodies your company's collective wisdom, experience, and expertise. It's an advantage that cannot be easily copied or bought. You're not just using AI. You're weaving it into the very fabric of your business, creating a unique intelligence that grows more valuable with every piece of data you generate. So you've built your army of specialist AIs. You have a brand guardian, a sales co-pilot, and a fine-tuned customer support prodigy. They are powerful, they are proprietary, and they are ready to work. But how do you command them? How do you manage this new digital workforce, deploy these models across your organization, and ensure everything remains secure, compliant, and under your control, without it all descending into chaos? The answer lies not in a complex web of new software or a battalion of IT staff, but in a single elegant solution: the command center. This is the central nervous system of your entire AI operation, the place where strategy is forged and control is absolute. Welcome to the ChatGPT Enterprise Admin Console. This isn't just a settings page. It's the bridge of your starship. It's where you, the administrator, transform from a mere user into the architect of your company's AI-powered future. Let's start with the first and most fundamental challenge: people. How do you bring your team on board? In a small startup, you might add people one by one. But in an enterprise, you're dealing with hundreds, even thousands of employees. The admin console is built for this scale. It integrates seamlessly with your existing identity providers through single sign-on, or SSO. This means your employees can log in using the same credentials they already use every single day. There are no new passwords to remember, no frustrating login loops. It's frictionless. The moment you enable Enterprise, your team can access it, and you control exactly who gets that access. Through domain verification, you can ensure that only employees with a verified company email address can join your workspace. No outsiders, no mistakes. You can onboard entire departments in minutes using bulk member management, or set up automated provisioning so that as new hires join your company, they are automatically granted access to this incredible tool from day one. You can also assign different roles. Not everyone needs the keys to the kingdom. You can designate administrators who can manage the entire workspace, and members who can simply use the tools you've approved. It's granular control, designed to mirror the structure of your own organization. You're not just opening a door, you're building a secure, well-managed city and deciding who gets a key to which building. Once your team is inside, the next level of control is about what they can do and what they can create. This is where Enterprise truly separates itself from the chaos of individual or team plans. You gain the power to manage workspaces. You can create dedicated, siloed environments for different departments. Imagine a workspace for your legal team, preloaded with custom GPTs trained on your specific contract templates and compliance documents. A separate workspace for your marketing team, with GPTs designed for brand voice analysis, social media post generation, and market research. And another for your engineering team, with GPTs that understand your internal code libraries and documentation. This isn't just about organization, it's about focus and security. The marketing team doesn't need to see the legal team's sensitive contract analyzer, and the legal team doesn't need to be cluttered with the marketing team's meme generator. You create purpose-built environments that empower each team with the exact tools they need, without the noise. And what about those custom GPTs, the digital employees we talked about? In an uncontrolled environment, they could be a nightmare. Imagine hundreds of employees building their own GPTs, some good, some bad, some potentially sharing sensitive information with the public version of the store. It's a recipe for disaster. The Enterprise Admin Console turns this potential liability into your single greatest asset. You have total authority over the lifecycle of GPTs. You decide who can build them. Maybe it's a select group of power users, or maybe it's everyone. You decide how they can be shared. This is critical. You can set the policy so that GPTs can only be shared internally, within your organization's secure workspace. That custom GPT trained to analyze your confidential financial projections? It can never ever be made public. It can be shared with the entire company, with a specific workspace like the finance department, or even just with a few key people via a secure link. You can also create GPTs that are read-only, allowing employees to use them but not see the underlying instructions or attached knowledge files, protecting your intellectual property. You become the curator of an internal, private, and incredibly powerful app store, built by your people for your people. Now let's talk about the elephant in every boardroom: security and privacy. For years, this was the #1 reason large companies were terrified of generative AI. The fear of proprietary data, customer information, and trade secrets being fed into a model and used to train it for the benefit of the world, or worse, a competitor, was paralyzing. ChatGPT Enterprise was built to eliminate this fear. It is a digital fortress. Let's be unequivocally clear. OpenAI does not train on your business data or conversations from ChatGPT Enterprise. Period. Your inputs, your outputs, your file uploads, your custom GPTs, it is your data, and it is never used to improve their models. This isn't a promise buried in the fine print. It's the foundational principle of the entire platform. To back this up, the platform is SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, a rigorous third-party audited standard for security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. All of your data is encrypted, both in transit using industry standard TLS 1.2 or higher, and at rest using AES 256. It provides a level of security and data privacy that is simply non-negotiable for any serious organization. This single feature, the guarantee that your data remains your own, is what unlocks the true potential of AI within a corporate environment. You can finally let your teams work with sensitive information, analyze confidential reports, and strategize on future plans, all within a secure, compliant, and private AI environment. But control and security are only two parts of the equation. How do you know if it's working? How do you measure the impact of this powerful new technology on your bottom line? You can't manage what you can't measure. This is why the admin console includes a comprehensive analytics dashboard. This is your window into how AI is being adopted and leveraged across your entire company. You can see high-level metrics at a glance: the number of active users, the total number of messages sent, and the overall adoption rate over time. Are people actually using it? Is usage growing? You can drill down to see which departments are the most active and which custom GPTs are the most popular. You might discover that the sales pitch refiner GPT built by the sales team is being used hundreds of times a day, directly impacting their efficiency. Or you might find that the code debugger GPT is saving your engineering team countless hours. This isn't just data for data's sake. These are actionable insights. You can identify power users and have them train other employees. You can see which use cases are providing the most value and double down on them. You can calculate a real, tangible return on investment. You're no longer just hoping that AI is making your company more productive. You have the data to prove it. You can walk into a board meeting with charts and figures that demonstrate exactly how this investment is accelerating workflows, reducing costs, and driving innovation. It transforms AI from a mysterious, speculative technology into a measurable, manageable, and indispensable part of your business operations. This is how you move from chaos to command. But exercising command isn't just about putting up guardrails. It's about giving your teams a superpowered engine. It's about taking that raw potential of AI and focusing it like a laser on your most complex problems. This is where we move beyond simple chat and into the realm of true digital alchemy. Let's start with a feature that feels like magic, but is grounded in pure, unadulterated data science: advanced data analysis. Imagine your marketing team. It's 3 p.m., and they have a meeting with the CMO at 5. They've just been handed a dozen massive, messy spreadsheets from the latest digital campaign. We're talking click-through rates, conversion data, ad spend, demographic breakdowns, a chaotic sea of numbers. The old way: panic, a flurry of frantic VLOOKUPs in Excel, desperate attempts to wrangle pivot tables, and a prayer that they can stitch together a coherent story in time. The result is often a rushed, surface-level analysis that misses the crucial insights hidden deep within the data. Now, picture this with ChatGPT Enterprise. The marketing manager doesn't even open Excel. She drags and drops all 12 messy files directly into the chat window and types a simple, natural language prompt. I have a meeting with the CMO in 2 hours. Analyze this campaign data. Identify the top 5 performing ad creatives based on return on investment. Create a profile of our most profitable customer segment, including their demographics and engagement patterns. Finally, generate 3 clear, presentation-ready visualizations that summarize our biggest wins and one that highlights our biggest opportunity for improvement. And then the magic happens. In the background, ChatGPT Enterprise isn't just thinking. It's working. It writes and executes Python code in a secure, sandboxed environment. It cleans the data, merges the different files, identifies the key columns, and performs complex statistical analysis. It doesn't just spit out numbers. it interprets them. Within minutes, it starts to deliver its findings. The top-performing ad was Creative C, which targeted 25 to 34-year-old females in the Pacific Northwest, generating an ROI of 450%. Here is a bar chart visualizing the ROI for all creatives. It continues, your most profitable customer segment is males aged 40 to 55 who engage primarily on mobile devices between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. They respond best to video content. Here is a bubble chart illustrating the demographic breakdown. And finally, the biggest opportunity for improvement lies in reallocating budget from the underperforming Creative A towards a new campaign targeting the secondary demographic of 18 to 24-year-olds, who showed high engagement but low conversion, suggesting a pricing or messaging mismatch. Here is a waterfall chart showing the potential budget reallocation. The marketing manager now has everything she needs. Not just raw data, but actionable intelligence complete with the charts to back it up. She can even ask follow-up questions. What if we increase the budget for video content by 20%? Project the potential impact on conversions. The AI can run that simulation. This isn't just a tool. It's an on-demand, world-class data scientist that works at the speed of thought. And crucially, all of that proprietary sensitive campaign data never left the secure confines of the enterprise account. It wasn't used to train any models. It was analyzed and then forgotten. That's the power of enterprise-grade analysis. But what if your needs go beyond data? What if you need an AI that understands the unique DNA of your company, your jargon, your processes, your internal knowledge? A generalist model, no matter how powerful, can't know the specifics of your proprietary software, your internal HR policies, or your confidential sales strategies. This is where customization becomes the key to unlocking the next order of magnitude in value. ChatGPT Enterprise allows you to build, deploy, and share custom GPTs across your entire organization. Think of these not as chatbots but as specialized, expert agents trained on your information. Let's go back to our company. The HR department is constantly flooded with the same questions from employees. What's our dental plan coverage? How many PTO days do I have left? What's the process for an international business trip? Answering these takes up hundreds of hours. So they create an HR help desk GPT. They securely upload the entire employee handbook, all benefits documentation, and every internal policy guide. They give it a simple instruction. You are the friendly and accurate HR assistant for our company. Answer employee questions based only on the documents provided. Now, this custom GPT is deployed in the company's shared workspace. A new hire can simply ask, "What's the company match for our 401k?" and get an instant, accurate answer with the citation pointing to the exact page in the benefits guide. The HR team is freed up to focus on strategic initiatives, not repetitive queries. Let's take it to the sales team. They create a sales battle card GPT. They feed it all of their product spec sheets, pricing models, case studies, and, most importantly, all of their internal competitive analysis documents. Now, a sales rep is on a crucial call with a potential client who asks, "How does your new X1 processor compare to competitor Y's Z series?" Instead of fumbling through a shared drive, the rep types the question into their custom GPT and gets an immediate, perfectly crafted response. Our X1 processor offers 15% faster processing speeds and 20% lower power consumption. It also includes our proprietary security-on-a-chip technology, which the Z series lacks. Here are the key talking points and a link to the third-party benchmark report. The AI becomes a real-time coach and expert in their pocket. You can create a legal bot trained on your contract templates to do first-pass reviews, a marketing copy GPT that writes in your exact brand voice, or a developer assist GPT that understands your company's proprietary codebase to help onboard new engineers. You are no longer using a generic tool. You are building a fleet of bespoke, intelligent specialists that form a cohesive, internal corporate brain. But the deepest level of integration, the true holy grail, is when the AI becomes an invisible, seamless part of the very fabric of your operations. This is achieved through the Enterprise API. The API is the bridge that allows your existing software, the tools your teams already use every single day, to tap directly into the power of OpenAI's models. Consider your customer support system like Zendesk or Salesforce. With the API, you can build a workflow where every new support ticket is automatically read and understood by the AI. It can instantly categorize the ticket. Is it a billing question, a technical issue, a feature request? It can then search your internal knowledge base and draft a precise, helpful response. By the time a human agent even sees the ticket, a high-quality draft is already waiting for their review. What used to be a 2-hour response time becomes a 2-minute one. Customer satisfaction skyrockets, and your agents can handle a much higher volume of complex issues. Think about your internal communication on Slack or Microsoft Teams. You can build a custom integration that allows you to summarize long, chaotic channels with a simple command. Type/summarize this channel from the last 24 hours, and the AI provides a concise bulleted list of the key decisions, action items, and open questions. No more scrolling through hundreds of messages to catch up. This is about embedding intelligence everywhere. It's about creating a system where your CRM can automatically draft follow-up emails, where your project management software can flag at-risk projects based on developer comments, and where your internal document repository has a search function that doesn't just find keywords, but understands concepts and synthesizes answers. Advanced data analysis gives you unprecedented insight. Custom GPTs provide you with tailored expertise, and the API weaves that intelligence directly into the tools and processes that run your business. You're not just giving your employees a better tool. You're building a fundamentally smarter organization. But with all this power, with all this data and all these custom AIs trained on your most secret corporate knowledge, comes a profound and non-negotiable responsibility. How can you be certain that your most sensitive conversations, your proprietary data, and your competitive strategies are truly unequivocally safe? That is the billion-dollar question, and it's the bedrock upon which the entire enterprise offering is built. So let's answer it. OpenAI's response to this billion-dollar question is a simple, legally binding, and technically enforced promise. We will not train our models on your business data when you use ChatGPT Enterprise. Let's say that again because it's the single most important sentence in this entire discussion. OpenAI does not, and will not, use your conversations, your uploads, or any of your inputs from the enterprise service to train GPT-4, GPT-5, or any future model. Your data remains your data. It is used to generate a response for you, and that's it. The transaction is over. This is a fundamental departure from the consumer model, where, by default, conversations can be used to make the models smarter for everyone. With enterprise, you are not a data point for their research. You are a client, and your intellectual property is treated as a sacred asset. This promise is backed by multiple layers of security, a defense in-depth strategy designed to give Chief Information Security Officers peace of mind. Starts with encryption. All of your data is encrypted at rest using AES-256, a standard so secure it's used by the US government to protect classified information. When your data is in transit, moving between your computer and OpenAI servers, it's protected by TLS 1.2+, the same protocol that secures your online banking and e-commerce transactions. Think of it like this. When your data is sitting on a server, it's locked in a digital vault. When it's moving, it's inside an armored truck. Unauthorized access is, for all practical purposes, impossible. But in the corporate world, a company's promise and technical specs aren't enough. You need independent verification. You need proof. That's where SOC 2 compliance comes in. For those not deep in the world of enterprise IT, SOC stands for Service Organization Control, and SOC 2 is a rigorous independent auditing procedure that scrutinizes how a company handles customer data. This isn't a one-time checklist. It's a comprehensive audit conducted by a third-party firm that examines hundreds of internal controls related to security, availability, processing integrity, confidentiality, and privacy. Getting a SOC 2 report is like a company opening up its entire security playbook to an external expert and asking them, "Are we doing this right? Can our clients trust us?" OpenAI has gone through this exhaustive process, and the resulting compliance is their verified third-party stamp of approval. It's the proof that they don't just talk the talk. They have the policies, procedures, and safeguards in place to protect your most sensitive information, and they've had an independent auditor confirm it. This is a non-negotiable for almost any large company looking to adopt a new technology, and OpenAI has cleared that bar. So, the fortress is built, the data is encrypted, and the processes are audited. But what about managing who gets inside the fortress? This is where the Enterprise Admin Console comes into play, and it's what truly separates a consumer tool from a corporate solution. This is your command center. It provides the granular control that businesses absolutely require to deploy technology at scale safely. First up is user management. With the Admin Console, you can easily provision and deprovision users in bulk. An entire department needs access? Done in minutes. A team member leaves the company, their access can be revoked instantly, ensuring they don't walk out the digital door with access to sensitive conversation histories or company data. This isn't just a convenience. It's a critical security function that prevents data leakage and ensures only current, authorized employees have access. Next is single sign-on or SSO. This is a game changer for both security and user experience. Instead of your employees creating yet another password they have to remember, and probably a weak one at that, SSO integrates ChatGPT Enterprise with your company's existing identity provider, like Okta, Azure Active Directory, or Google Workspace. This means employees log in with the same credentials they use for everything else. For the user, it's seamless. For the IT department, it's a massive security win. It centralizes authentication, enforces multi-factor authentication policies you already have in place, and dramatically simplifies user management. You control the keys to the kingdom from one central place. Then there's domain verification. This simple feature allows you to prove you own your company's domain, like acmecorp.com. Once verified, you can ensure that anyone signing up with an email address from your company is funneled into your official enterprise workspace, preventing the creation of rogue, unmanaged accounts. It's about consolidating usage and maintaining oversight. And speaking of oversight, the admin console provides usage dashboards. This isn't about spying on employees. It's about governance and adoption. You can see high-level anonymized trends. How many people are actively using the tool? Which departments are the most engaged? This data is invaluable for understanding the return on your investment and identifying where you might need more training, or where power users are emerging who can champion the technology across the organization. It allows you to manage your deployment strategically, based on real data, not just guesswork. When you put all these pieces together, the contractual promise of no data training, the robust encryption, the third-party SOC2 validation, and the granular control of the admin console, the picture becomes clear. OpenAI has meticulously addressed the core fears that kept businesses on the sidelines. They've systematically dismantled the barriers to entry, transforming ChatGPT from a powerful but risky consumer gadget into a secure, manageable, and verifiable enterprise-grade platform. They understood that to sell to the enterprise, you can't just sell features, you have to sell trust. You have to sell control. You have to sell the assurance that adopting this revolutionary technology won't create a catastrophic security vulnerability. This entire security and administration layer is the unspoken hero of the enterprise offering. It's not as flashy as a new model or a faster interface, but it's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, no serious company, no law firm, no bank, no pharmaceutical giant, no top-tier consulting firm could ever dream of deploying this tool to its workforce. It's what allows the conversation to shift from, "Is this safe?" to, "How can we use this to win?" So the fortress is built. The data is secure. The controls are in place. But a fortress is only useful if it enables the kingdom within to thrive. How do you take this secure, powerful tool and actually integrate it into the DNA of your company to create an unstoppable competitive advantage? How do you move from simply having access to the tool to achieving a complete transformation in how your teams collaborate, innovate, and execute? That is the final and perhaps most important piece of the puzzle. The answer lies in a fundamental mindset shift. You have to stop seeing ChatGPT Enterprise as a tool you've purchased and start seeing it as a new foundational operating system for your business. It's the difference between handing a team a box of hammers and nails versus teaching them how to build a skyscraper. The raw materials are one thing, the architectural vision and the skill to execute it are everything. Achieving this transformation isn't about a single memo from the CEO or a one-off training session. It's about building a new kind of organizational muscle. It rests on three core pillars. The first and most critical pillar is your North Star, your why. Before you build a single custom GPT, before you onboard a single team, you must answer one question with brutal honesty. What is the single biggest problem or the single greatest opportunity we are aiming this technology at? Is it to cut your product development cycle in half? Is it to create a customer service experience so personalized and efficient that it becomes your primary marketing tool? Is it to unlock insights from your proprietary data that have been trapped in silos for decades? Without a clear, compelling, and measurable North Star, your AI initiative will become a ship with the most advanced engine in the world, but no rudder and no destination. It will drift. Teams will use it for trivial tasks, the initial excitement will fade, and a year from now, you'll be looking at a massive expense with a questionable return on investment. But when you have that North Star, when everyone from the intern to the executive board knows that the goal is, for example, to become the fastest company in our industry to go from concept to customer, then every action, every custom GPT, every workflow has a purpose. It becomes a coordinated effort, not a collection of random experiments. The second pillar is the human element. The who. This is where most companies fail. They see AI as a pure technology play and forget that its success is entirely dependent on the people using it. You cannot simply drop this technology into your organization and expect magic. You have to cultivate a new culture. This starts by identifying and empowering AI champions within every department. These are the curious ones, the tinkerers, the people who are already excited. Give them the training, give them the freedom to experiment, and then make them the internal evangelists. Let them show their peers, in a language they understand, how a custom GPT just saved them 10 hours on their weekly report or helped them draft a brilliant marketing campaign in minutes. But it's also about addressing the fear. Let's be honest, for many employees, the words AI in the workplace translate to, "Is a robot going to take my job?" You have to confront this head-on. The narrative you must build is not one of replacement, but of augmentation. This is about eliminating the drudgery, the repetitive tasks that drain creativity and energy, to free up your people to do what humans do best. Strategize, innovate, and connect with other humans. It's the Iron Man analogy. The suit doesn't replace Tony Stark. It amplifies his genius. ChatGPT Enterprise is the suit. Your people are, and always will be, the genius inside. You must invest as much in the psychology of adoption as you do in the technology itself. The third pillar is the how. This is about building an unstoppable flywheel of momentum. You don't start by trying to boil the ocean. You don't try to revolutionize the entire company on day one. You start small, you aim for a specific high visibility win, and you build from there. Pick one department, let's say your marketing team. Identify their biggest bottleneck. Maybe it's creating diverse ad copy for different social media platforms. You work with them to build a custom GPT, trained on your company's brand voice, your past successful campaigns, and your specific marketing goals. You call it the Campaign Accelerator GPT. The team starts using it. Suddenly, they're generating 10 times the creative variations in half the time. They're A/B testing ideas they never had the bandwidth to even consider before. Their metrics improve. They hit their quarterly goals a month early. Now what do? You don't just keep it a secret. You shout this victory from the rooftops. You showcase it at the all-hands meeting. You publish the case study on your internal network. The sales team sees this and says, "Wait a minute. Could we have a GPT that helps us draft personalized follow-up emails based on a client's industry and our last conversation?" The legal team sees it and asks, "Could we build a GPT to do a first-pass review of standard contracts to flag non-standard clauses?" This is the flywheel. Success breeds curiosity. Curiosity breeds demand. Demand leads to more successful projects. Each win builds on the last, creating an accelerating cycle of adoption and innovation that grows organically throughout the organization. You're not pushing the technology on people. They are pulling it in because they see its undeniable value. This bottom-up, success-driven approach is infinitely more powerful than any top-down mandate. And here's the harsh reality that ties all of this together. The cost of inaction is no longer zero. In fact, it's a debt that compounds with terrifying speed. Every week that your company spends debating, forming committees, and waiting to see what happens, your competitors are building their flywheels. They are training their models. They are training their people. They are discovering new use cases. They are building a cumulative advantage in speed, efficiency, and intelligence that will become increasingly difficult, if not impossible, to overcome. We are at an inflection point where the gap between the companies that embrace this transformation and those that don't will grow from a crack to a chasm. So what does the finish line look like? What is the ultimate vision here? It's the creation of what you could call a cognitive enterprise, an organization where the entire collective knowledge of the company, every project report, every customer service transcript, every line of code ever written, is instantly accessible and synthesizable by anyone, at any time, through a simple conversational interface. Imagine a new product manager joining your team. Instead of spending 6 months trying to figure out who to talk to and where to find documents, they can simply ask, "What were the key customer feedback points and technical challenges from our last product launch?" and get a comprehensive, source summary in 30 seconds. Imagine a strategy meeting where, instead of debating opinions, you can model potential outcomes in real time by asking, Given our current sales data and market trends, what are the 3 most likely expansion markets for us next year? And what are the primary risks for each? This isn't about working harder or even faster in the traditional sense. It's about working smarter on a level that was previously science fiction. It's about elevating the entire cognitive capacity of your organization. The bottleneck for growth is no longer access to information or the speed of execution. The only bottleneck left is the quality of the questions you ask. So as we close this series, the question for you isn't should we get ChatGPT Enterprise? That's looking at the hammer and nails. The real question, the one that will define your company's trajectory for the next decade, is this: do you have the vision and the courage to become an architect of the future?